My grandson Cannon is going to help me cut down and mill this big old gnarly mesquite tree. Out these slabs out of my mesquite pile, and we're going to use these for his computer desk. We're going to make a river table out of these. Now I'm going to shim these slabs on a planer board so I can send them through my 20-inch planer to flatten them. So my epoxy, I'm gonna use a 2-to-1 epoxy liquid glass. So I mixed it. I'm just letting my mixer drip back in here, letting some bubbles pop. I'm gonna pour it into this mold. The first probably 1 inch is gonna be a little bit darker blue because I'm gonna put some supports across here to keep this desktop from bowing in the future. And then the top inch will be a little bit lighter, so hopefully it'll be a little bit transparent so we can see some of this structure right here, and it'll look more like a continental shelf. Maybe an island right here. Should look pretty cool. So I'm gonna do my first 3-liter pour. Just gonna pray I don't have any leaks in my mold. I can tell right now it needs to be darker. Yeah, that's way too light. So I'm taking a MAP gas propane torch. I'm using it to pop any bubbles that have formed in my epoxy. You don't want these bubbles to dry in the epoxy. You know, will ruin your epoxy job. Also, you'll notice later we'll take a stir stick and kind of just use that to make some swirls, and it kicks up the metallic flake in the epoxy, in the pigment that I put in there, and it will add to the effect of like running water and eddies in the current of the water. This is just temporary. I'll have to come back with the epoxies a little bit thicker to get probably the final swirl in it. It won't look like this when it's done. It has begun. It's going to take at least 3 days to cure. So we're at probably about an inch and a half thick. I'm gonna probably let this set a couple of hours. Come back and take a look at it. I'm fixing to pop the bubbles on this. So I partially poured my river table. I was worried about my mold springing a leak. It's not, but I did get some seepage under this slab. So I've wasted some epoxy. I made this dam right here, so it's leaking, I think, somewhere around here coming under the slab. So I built this dam hoping that once this level gets as high as this level, it will stop seeping under there because of the pressure, and I won't get all of this filling up here and wasting all the epoxy here. This is epoxy, real expensive. So fixing to call it a night, and I'll come in the morning and check on it. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. I just finished my last pour. I'm gonna come back here in a little bit and put some swirls in it, pop some more bubbles. This is my leak that I had. I made a containment dam so it wouldn't waste as much epoxy. So that worked to save some epoxy. Okay, I just routed my support for the back side of this river desk top. So it goes in there like so. It sits flush. I'm gonna put screws in here, threaded inserts, and that way when the wood swells with humidity, it will actually, it's probably 1/64 of an inch or so, 1/32 of an inch movement. You can actually slide in this groove. That way it'll keep this from splitting or distorting. This is real heavy gauge C-channel. Now I'm going to practice mount my legs on this table. I'm going to flip it over and now try to fill all the pinholes that I have in my epoxy. Always a fun job, lots of sanding and reapplying epoxy. Now I'm going to be applying my finish, which is going to be Rubio Monocoat. It's a pretty easy finish to apply. It's a hard wax finish. You just have to mix it up and spread it around. I'm just using this little cheap plastic spreader. Just spread it around. A little bit goes a long way. So basically you just saturate the wood with this, let it sit for a little while, and then you're going to completely buff it off to a dry finish and possibly make do 2 coats of this. So you can see here I made a 1-inch slab shelf for the computer monitor or the computer tower to sit on. Thanks for watching. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. Y'all come back now, you hear?